All right, welcome back, everyone.
All
I
right, welcome back, everyone. All
I
right, welcome back, everyone.
sorry, got rid of the echo there. All right, I was not planning on streaming tonight, but I figured why not since this list is kind of interesting. I 5-0'd with it over the course of 2 nights. 2 nights ago, I guess. That would today's Monday, so not yesterday, but the day before. On Saturday night, I finished that league from Friday. The concept is pretty easy. I arrived at this list because I was testing, or not, I was playing with Mole to decent success, and then it occurred to me like, why don't I just linearize this deck even more? Namely, we just play 12, 10 dorks, 14 plus Green Sun, because I want every game to look the same. Uh, so if I'm playing 14 IMS, that's initial mana source 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I should be doing the same thing in theory with the number of dorks, right? Like I value turn one dork as much as I valued, turn one force or green source. And then having done that, there didn't leave much room for endurance and thought in the main deck. And I think with the addition of Tivar, which I have been shout out to Inigo Runcore for reminding me of this card exists. I think when I saw this card got printed, I was like, seems pretty cool, but when are we ever cutting natural order? And at least, actually, for anybody who's followed me, I've been the biggest proponent of natural order because you need to win the game. But this is a pretty decent overrun effect that protects itself, which I've been very impressed with. Obviously, you can exile Tivar, so it doesn't really work as well against not green, white decks and decks with Kozilek's command. But the field is mostly like blue red, blue white, sorry, blue red, blue black. Tempo, it's decent finisher against combo. And it allows me to play like main deck Gadok T. I'm not sure if that's correct, but the logic is Collector Oof hasn't been that impressive for me recently. And then you still get to play the Fiend Artisan and the white both of them, so you have 8 sacrificers. Spring Heart Nantuko, I don't know about this card in terms of like whether it's gonna stay or not. I do like that it gives the deck a combo element that is otherwise missing if I don't play natural order. Here's the list I played with a couple of nights ago. I ran through one league and I did 5-0 with it. Uh, take that for what you will. The league was meta decks. I don't know if my opponents played perfectly. Probably not, to be honest. But one opponent was pretty decent. They were on blue black, and another decent opponent was on blue black as well. And it felt pretty good there. I only dropped one game. Let me bring up the tweet. I didn't have. I think the matchups were like two Dimir Tempo, one Painter, one Eldrazi, and then one that I don't remember. Here's the post. Same list. I changed a few cards. I don't know about Cabal Therapy in this list. I was hoping that it would play well with Badger Mole Cub, but it didn't. Therapy was actually okay in my testing. The thing is, like with Phenarzen, I think we just want to play like the most not random, but the biggest haymakers we can, and like Opposition Agent comes to mind. I don't know about Mesmeric Fiend, but it is good against Show and Tell, which is like popular in the metagame. All right, I don't want to discuss belabor the point too much. I think we just like jump into this. Oh, also for those of you curious, Deuce is gonna stream. I think this list as well. He tagged me earlier, so be on the lookout for that. More socials. Next been killing me lately. Shadow back there. Looks like I do. I don't know why. Guess I need to learn to stretch when I work. I have a lab job, but I'm staring at the screen a lot. Should probably stretch every once in a while. Maybe here today too. How's the audio, by the way? Hopefully it's okay. A lot of 5-0s already into the season. Actually, I take that back. November 18th. I guess it's been a few weeks. 3, I guess. My boy Eureka Mike Reed here atop the trophy leaderboard. Yeah, I debated whether to call this Maverick or not for tonight. I figured you might get people interested if I post Maverick instead of another Cradle stream. Also, this is probably the closest we've ever been to Maverick. Literally doesn't even play natural order in this list, and running Wasteland. If this is not Maverick, like there's not much more else that I can do besides, I guess, playing 4 Wasteland, which I don't love in a non-blue deck where you can't shuffle it away if it's bad. That's the thing about Wasteland. I think right now, uh, ooh, maybe I should not mulligan that, but it's fine, I guess. It was 4 lands. That's kind of a mull already. I think we just keep and hope. Philip J. Fly. I don't know what they're on. Okay, back to my Maverick point. The thing is about Wasteland, which historically is, I think, what a lot of Maverick players associate with that deck. It's not good against every deck. Is my primary issue of why I don't want to play 4. I don't mind 4 in the 75. It's just I'd rather not play 4 in the main deck because imagine playing against like a Stoneblade player and then they have like 5 basics out. It feels bad to be down cards, right? Or virtually down because this deck is not great at cast. Ooh, I'm playing the mirror. This deck is not great at. Yeah, we are. Interesting. This deck is not great at. What was I gonna say? Or pseudo mirror, I guess. Slightly different list, I guess. I think we just see Dotsy is kind of liability. I think I have to take the green sun because uh, what am I doing? I think I have to pass. I probably am a dog game one because I don't have the top end that they do. Oops, I clicked on the wrong one. They probably cast a Y in the current ranger here. Sure. I've said on my Discord a few times already that I'm not favored in the mirror. I don't. I have historically built lists that are not favored in the mirror. But if I lose the mirrors and I have another Cradle player around, then so be it. Yeah, I'm trying to think what are out it how we're gonna like line this up game one. I I've been losing match one a lot lately on stream, so it's kind of like puts a sour taste in my mouth, and hopefully we're not headed towards that trajectory tonight. We do have a few haymakers in the sideboard, but we are a dog game one. Are you playing a track style? I am not, unfortunately. I don't see how we win. Uh, I guess I have Gadog T, huh? Let me think. I've got Teak. The problem is they have a white on the other side. Are we gonna assume they're gonna draw a payoff? I guess maybe not. And then I guess we just start threatening our own. Whatever. Yeah, Maverick is underdog in the Green Sun mirror historically. I don't want to think too much about it. There's a chance I should have got something else. I just don't think I'm a favorite game one, so might as well like try to set up a fast clock and hope they would like whiff on their draws. Because with an active white on the other side, our card quality here is kind of low. Now, there's an argument to be made. We get Phenars in, but it's like kind of slow, right? Like we get Phenars in, we pitch the safekeeper, then we like incrementally build. I just don't know if that's getting there. Probably not, to be honest. Whatever. Don't care. Actually, we can block. It's kind of free to block, I guess. Hmm. You can play their own endurance. Sure, 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 sure. I don't. I actually think I want to leave those cards there. I don't want our opponent to get those cards back. They're probably gonna get Wasteland, which thwarts our plan a little bit, but who knows? They got. I guess they don't want to lose their board. Probably, for sure, getting Wasteland should be the mirror or pseudo mirror. Yeah. So that wide of the rail core is holding us at bay here. And I didn't think we would win the white, pun not intended, race here because, well, maybe we should have got white. It's hard to say. But they didn't. They forgot to waste us. That was a mistake. Our opponent is giving us free damage here. What is going on? Mm, is it worth it here? I feel like it probably is. just to push damage. We're gonna make blocks really awkward for our opponent. That might have been a game-losing mistake by our opponent. Ooh, that actually is kind of neat too. We're not gonna expose that we have the bog in hand, which is gonna kill their white. And then they don't have anything else. I mean, there's a big asterisk on this game already. Our opponent punted by not wastelanding us main phase. Uh, yeah, I believe that. Again, we did not deserve to win this game. I don't know how it's gonna play out. Like our draws were probably pretty bad. I think we should have, to be honest, lost this game. If I'm being honest. But we'll take it. Question is how do I board in the mirror? I don't remember off the top of my head. 1 second. I definitely know we have likely better haymakers than they do. We have opposition agent, which is just nuts in this matchup, and a gazillion ways to find it. Probably don't need bog. Don't need. Let me see. I need to look how I boarded. Oh, my computer's freezing. All right. Okay. If I have technical difficulties, my stuff is like freezing right now. I don't know what's going on. Okay. My apologies. Like I said, my computer. I might need a new computer soon, or maybe probably a new power supply. All right. Safekeeper comes out. Gadok T comes out. Makes sense. Endurances already came out. Bog comes out. All right. Talon Gates comes out. I guess that makes sense. And then maybe Wasteland comes in. Yeah, that seems reasonable. I don't board in the Mesmeric Fiend here. The thing is, like, when you have Fiend Artisan in your deck, you win. If and they don't, you win the Green Mirror because of Opposition Agent. And I don't bother to keep Safekeeper because we're never gonna like go Agent into Safekeeper and then they have a dismember that just feels bad, right? And you're never gonna go tutor Safekeeper first, so you just like bank on the fact that it's gonna go to the distance, and it usually does. Mm, I kept any generic hand. Ideally, I would have had like either Thoughtseize or Snuff Out, but can't win them all. 2 arbors. Okay, there's a heavy asterisk on this game. Why do they have a collector oof still in the deck? My guess is they're gonna natural order next turn. Like, why would they keep this hand otherwise? We just, I guess, have to pray that that's not what they have. But we're probably just dead here. Should be a natural order coming down here. Yep, it is what it is. Like I said, it's possible. I don't know if I'm supposed to just like mold to snuff out or Thoughtseize. It seemed like a reasonable plan, right? Like maybe they keep a Thoughtseize hand and we just have redundancy. That was my logic, at least. Whether that's right or not is a different story, but yeah. But then we knew we were so we can't blame it on that. Uh, I don't think we have removal for the Atraxa, so I'm trying to think like how do we even beat the Atraxa, and I don't think we can. Like we didn't bring in Grist, I don't think. Like we can combo, but I'm not sure. Well, I'm just gonna concede. I don't think we're beating that, which is a little awkward. So, oops, cancel. Maybe that means we're supposed to like bring in Grist. I'll think about that. We lost a game where they had turn two collector oof. We should be embarrassed. Um, yeah, maybe we cannot keep just a Athena Artisan on the draw. That's just the takeaway there. I don't think we boarded incorrectly. Like maybe we maybe it's that. Oops, wrong one. Spring Heart for value. I'm not sure. Feels kind of slow. I actually think it's maybe like this. And what we should have done was okay, I guess. What we should have done was so we boarded wrong there, I think, and then so we can fix that. But I don't think I think we should have kept in. If we had the mesmeric fiend, we probably win that game. But that's neither here nor there. 61 cards. Oh my god, my opponent. It's a travesty. We're flooding out, but I'm not sure it's gonna matter. If we fade removal, I think we probably just win this game. I don't think there's much our opponent can do about a play of his agent. The mirror breaker. So they don't have a Sure. The aggro side is a little bit. So I probably needed to snuff out their mole, and I did not. I gave them an extra hierarch as a result. Yeah, I think so too. I should have done it earlier, but it's better late than never. Yeah, always bolt the bird, right? And I didn't do that, which in this case is the mole. Actually, I think I get Gris here, right? And just like tick up, so I have a blocker. Actually, in this case, we're just learning it as we go. But I guess in this case, pass. Probably could have wastelanded the arbor, but who knows? We misplayed by not killing the cub there. Bolt the bird. Really? Wow. Jesus. Well, can't win them all, and I misplayed there, so that's on me. Okay. Sometimes you have the better list, but they have it. They have it. Feels bad to lose to somebody who kept in collector oof against us, and we cannot win round one of a stream ever. Hmm, I mean, not really, but I would guess in we should be favored, but if they have the out, they have the out. They cannot beat an opposition agent outside like naturally having the removal, but sometimes they do. Right, like that's why we play the games. It just feels bad because my opponent left in collector oof against us. That's probably the part that hurts me the most. If they have it, they have it. Like by all means, but might be a daze here. I don't know. Or brainstorming the force. Yep. I did answer Kiwi Gaming. I definitely think we're unfavored game one. Like we should not have won game one. And I probably kept a loose hand game two and three. Well, not three, but game two. Game three, like they had the out. It is what it is. Like they're probably on Demir Tempo, I would guess. We did make one mistake. I don't think that's why we lost, but we should have snuffed out the mole earlier to cut off our opponent one mana. But they would have eventually got there anyways. Like they had the natural whatever. Maybe that's a reason to keep safekeeper. I don't know, but like that is a consideration that we could do it and then force them to respond, and then if they don't do it, then we get the safekeeper. If they do respond with removal, we get like plague engine or something. What am I getting here? We have one, two, three, four. One, two, three, four, five mana. Actually, mole would be good on this board state. So this is one board state where I would want the first mole to set up the next turn for a lethal um to set up. We still have, I guess, technically lethal, but Bowmasters. I guess we can technically do it now, or do it anyways. Is what I'm saying. Settle for the kill next turn. So they have to waste us here. Removal technically helps too, but there, it's gotta be so scary to see like this on the other side. You're just gonna get overrun right now. Sure. Hmm. It kind of beats removal, right? What do you mean by that? I'm not sure I'm understanding. There's just like bash face here. Everybody gets two because of the Tamio. Yeah. So everything that's 8 plus 4, that's 12. And they lose one. The awkward part is like we don't go face. Let me see. Plus 3, 15, plus 2, 15 plus 6 minus 5. It's 21 minus 5. We're just short. I guess we just like YOLO'd. Yeah, YOLO. Well, actually, no, that doesn't work. I am an idiot. It's probably Doomsday, to be honest. What am I doing? I am like, I had this extra attacker. Why am I not attacking? I'm butchering this big time. So if I attacked everybody else, that would have been a lot more damage. But I'm like messing this up. So it wouldn't 2, 4 plus 5, 9, 9 damage. So they would add 6. Sure. I don't think that really. Well, I guess it kind of matters. I'm like I said, butchered this big time already. Let's not mess around. We're still pretty ahead. But I like super screwed up this game. Now we're leaving ourselves open to Doomsday like piles randomly. Like Doomsday draw when we lose now. I think they have it. Yeah. Oh, or not. Yeah, another removal spell. Sorry, it's not gonna work. Safekeeper's obnoxious against any fair deck. Interesting. Mm, I guess I gave my opponent a chance to draw the out, right? Take the Or the Goyf, I guess. It's 8. 8 plus 5, 13. It doesn't matter. We like fumbled our way through that. Maybe a little bit of both. Good question, Wizard Pasta. Maybe a little bit of both. We played horrendously there, but the game was not really ever close. We actually put ourselves in a position to lose to a top deck like Murktide for no reason. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. We had the Wide of the Reliquary as the out, so I guess we did not put ourselves in danger. All right, how am I boarding in this case? I don't even remember. Sure, I guess. Plague Engineer, I guess it's good against their Bowmaster like chump blocks. No, there's no. That's why I called it Maverick, because I know they're like a lot of their community members are very against free wins. This feels loose. Doesn't feel like a legacy card, but maybe it's okay here. Keep. This is the weakest card. This maybe you get a free win. Actually, Wasteland doesn't cast anything here, and we're on the draw, so probably not. That's the idea. I don't know if it. I don't know if that pans out, but like. Also, Dukes is my boy, by the way. So shout out Maverick community. Yeah, Wasteland's kind of bad. Spring Heart looking kind of shaky here. Probably. If you want to be better against green decks, I think you force turn one dork. That will help you beat a lot of these bad these people who are greedy. I know it sounds weird, but to me that's the correct play. To force turn one dork. Cuz the reasoning the reasoning is the reasoning is because by the time that you want to force their payoff, it's too late. They're gonna like double, triple spell payoff, and you're gonna lose. And also, a lot of these decks play Allosaurus Shepherd, so really you're super incentivized to force turn one dork. Correct. Like this is an exponential growth deck. You don't want them to get off the ground and then try to force the payoff. Like it can work, it most likely will not. It only works if like they have the 5 lands, or not lands, but land slash dork, 5 mana, let's call it that, plus like one payoff. And usually that's not the case. It happens every once in a while, but like on average, I think you are better off forcing turn one dork because, like I said, by the time they have like 3 mana, it's probably too late. So here, it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna try to like bestow the art. This is still looking real shaky. I this card sometimes just. Do you think Reclaimer could be worth it in the Maverick style build? Maybe that's what I want to be honest. Ooh, I think we take the Artisan. I feel like they have removal or something here. I'm gonna run the Spring Heart out. I'm gonna run this. Actually, it's fine. Because the worst thing that can happen is I run out the Spring Heart and then they don't have the removal and then we don't draw the land. Then we just get punished for no reason. We drew out the force at least. Ugh, that's annoying. This is what I mean. I have a love hate relationship with this card. It a lot of times does nothing. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't call it a free win. It's not. Which is why I think they're okay with it. Okay, sweet. We're gonna go off here. Nice Bargoyf. Uh, th- Again, this card feast or famine. Now we're feasting a little bit. Sure. Useless Boygarth on the other side. What's going on here? You're gonna kill my Spring Heart. Murktide maybe. In addition, destroy target creature. Do we want to do that now? I guess we save the fetch in case we top deck another. I want the token right now, so I don't want them to kill the Spring Heart response. So I can chump block the Bargoy. Bargrove on the other side is annoying though. Although they used this to kill it, so they could have just killed the grist or whatever too. So it is what it is. No natural order here definitely hurts. Definitely hurts. It's annoying that they have the Bargrove and the Tameo protected. So we're gonna have to just draw the grist out. Like we might just be dead here. So what did they do? They forced the artisan. How did this get here? I don't remember. How did they deal with a white? Oh, they pushed in. Okay, sure. And then they had to feed the cycle. So they had 3 removal spells. That's kind of tough. That's not bad. The problem here is they have a second one. Ugh, that's pretty obnoxious. If I plus here, they can like flash it back. Get like I think I have to do it now. I could just draw Tivar and just overrun them, but like n- the triple removal spells kind of broke. I guess not all removal. They had a force. Kind of annoying. Did we board out the seasons? Maybe we need to bring them in. Oof. Okay. That is interesting. I guess that's better than what a seize would be. Just pass. What do you think, Mots? Do you like endurance better or thought seize better here? Obviously, the endurance top deck is much better than thought seize top deck. Like, I feel like our top decks are better than theirs, but we're just drawing a lot of blanks. It's like, yeah, I guess that's not bad. You can't break this board stall though without Tivar. Yay or nay on the spring heart? You think so far? Yeah, we have another Spring Heart in the deck, so I want to have like more landfall, like, I don't think the tokens change in the game. That's all, Lawrence. Also, what's up, Lawrence? Long time, by the way. Like, I don't think extra tokens here is gonna change this board state, which is why I'm holding it. I'm just in case I draw the second Spring Heart to go off. Sure. Yeah, Mott's is the OG. OG. Go Gary. Or or junk. Not junk. Rock pilots. Right. I think we're getting drowned by the slow card advantage of Tamia though. We have how many fetchables left? I think two. I don't think we need a fetch just yet. Jesus. That's four of them. Yeah, I don't think I'm afraid. Yeah, any payoff here, I think we just win the game. We're just like in the waiting room, right? I think we get the token now to block the Borogoyf. Sure. Probably hit the Spring Heart because that's like getting on their nerves. Luckily, we main phase cracked just so we can like pitch the insect token to the Borogoyf that's kind of annoying us, I guess. Any payoff here, we win the game. Oh my god. I don't think we've drawn. I guess we drew the grist to answer their like planeswalker. Like it would, trying to be fair. Oh shoot! Did I? Oh, I didn't block. Shoot. Okay, I clicked through it. That's on me. That's probably gonna cost me. Yeah, I kind of did because all those cards are bad, right? We wanted our opponent to draw those cards. The problem with having a stable mana base, they don't attack your mana. It's kind of dicey. You don't draw up. Well, we did have three payoffs. We can't complain. They just happen to have two removal spells plus a force. And endurance is kind of bad in this matchup. I guess it's better because they're keeping in like Nethergoyf, but not ideal. It almost like to me feels like maybe we're supposed to keep in Thoughtseize and like just take away their answer for our thing. I know, right? At least I'm having a good laugh about it. All right, they're gonna ping our endurance card. That's fine. Just any payoff. Green Sun, white, Fiend Artisan. We got this. Tivar, like, oh my god. Yeah, like the vibe I'm getting is like we may need our we may need our Thoughtseize to just trade 1 for 1 in this matchup. Although they're not on the him version, so I don't know. Bargor Nethergore seems horrendous against us. I'm like very surprised he kept that in. I actually don't think we block here. We're gonna just go to 1. They have it. They have it. We already saw 3 Bowmasters. Like, oh, I guess they have Kaido. We're just dead. Okay, that's fine. I don't think that's gonna happen again, but who knows? What do we change based on what we just saw there? Plague Engineer seems decent. Like maybe our opponent just ran harder than we did. What do you think, chat? What do you think, Mots? Do we change anything or do we keep it? Just chalk it up to bad luck. Mots is the person I defer most to. Better player than I am, but which is why I defer to him. I just come with a list. He takes it to success. Sure. Okay. That's the dramatic irony, right? Getting us here. Yeah, it is what it is. I think we go Cradle in case we top deck on land. It's okay. It's all for the stream, right? It's all for the stream. Nethergorth, maybe. That's okay. Lead on waste. Why is that? I actually don't think I cared if they waste my Cradle because it's even. I get a potential free win if they go like Underground Sea and they just don't play around the waste there. So they're gonna waste us. That's fine. Don't think so. It's a little too all in. We got rewarded. Like I think in this kind of attrition matchup, every resource matters, and I don't think we can just him ourselves for the tempo there. Sometimes it pans out, but like depends. Sure. Slam this and hope it lives. If we untap, it's game. I'm calling that out right now. What do they have? Yeah, they got to dig for it. They don't have it. It's game. Dude, they got it. They don't. Days did not get banned, although many people have wanted it to. Question here. Okay, what is the correct sequencing? I think Safekeeper has to go first. I don't want that dazed. I do have a bog. Do you think it's correct to bog here? Well, they had swamp. Maybe me think about that. Why do we want to bog here? Like, are we afraid of Murktide? I don't think we care, right? I could be wrong. I feel like we don't care about Murktide here. I could I'm gonna like okay. You might be right. I just wanted to get Cradle and then maybe Murktide is one way we lose. Like we're just so far ahead. Maybe you're right. Um. All right. I'm not. I have two people I really respect here, so I'm gonna make the play that I think it's fair. It's fair. How big would Murktide have been? Let's see. One, two, three. I guess it's pretty big. 6'6". Yeah, that's fair. I was gonna I was gonna pitch anyways, but for a Cradle. So what for whatever that's worth. Uh, it might just be over here. Yeah. This is the Dread Horde. This is Dread Horde Arcanist right here. All right. I'm taking a quick break. Props to Mott's and Lawrence. Obviously, I cannot go against the Masters, right? I'll be right back. I think the thought process was like one way we lose the game is they Murktide into like chump blocks, something like Bowmasters or whatever, and then suddenly we're under pressure. It's not so much to put them under a pressure. It's more so that we have a lot more time. I think that's to me at least that's the thought process. Like when I do something like that, it's more like I don't think you can beat me in this kind of game. Yeah, that's fair. Quick question for everybody. Um, did we like? One second. I guess this is the keep. We have like a million dorks that we can find on Once Upon a Time. Do we actively like Thoughtseize boarded out there, or do we board it out because it's the worst card? So those are two different things, right? Like if we board it up because of the worst card, then we have some play with our mapping. Now, if we actively want Thoughtseize out, then that's a different story. I think we um we map correctly, so to speak. Yeah, for sure. For, like it's ideally not in the deck. I think that's kind of where I lean. Actually, I just saw who our opponent is. If I had like thought about it more, I probably would have mulled because they're always on combo, and this hand is like not a good hand against combo. For sure. Yeah. I think just like more creatures for sure. That's like if it's close, I tend to lean towards the creature, right? And this is like deck building too, not just like sideboard and whatnot. The real power, or at least utility of Thoughtseize really is that it maps against control, and you don't you really just want to play the bare minimum against control. Well, when I say bare minimum, like passable, so to speak. All right, we're gonna ramp. Well, let me see. Yeah, I think we need a ramp here. Our opponent is always like 100% on combo. So we got to go like turn two Fiend, turn three Teague. I mean, there it is, right? Like I said, if I had seen my opponent, I probably mill his hand or thought about it more. Okay, what are they? Echo probably. I guess it didn't matter. Well, I guess it kind of does, right? Because maybe my new hand is like a Thoughtseize hand. Also, like I'm keeping. This is like a not a bad hand for what it's worth. It's just not gonna get there this time. And our opponent, similar to us, has the benefit of knowing what we're on. So they one downside about playing a non-force deck is a lot of players will just mold a combo. So it's like pretty poor gameplay. But I have a lot of people like they mold a one to just concede the match because they didn't hit their whatever combo, right? And I mean, win or lose, it's kind of boring. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We're more so about trying to like figure out what I want to do with this deck. Can we live without natural order? We got it passed the first test for what it's worth, which is it passed the first test, which was the Dimir player last round. Granted, we lost the mirror, but that had more to do with the fact that they were able to answer opposition agent more than anything else. Okay. Let's see what we want to do here. Let's bring up the trusty map. This is why. This is partially why I'm playing Lane of the Void because we are otherwise pretty soft to Echo decks, and I think we have a good enough matchup against fair decks. We just want to hedge hard against combo. Let me see. Where is it? Storm or Ant? I brought out the Wild Reliquaries. They're a little slow, and a lot of times they play around Wasteland anyways. Like the good Wastelands in this matchup are the natural ones. Spring Heart, yeah, obviously does nothing against combo. Endurance, I see I cut one because I'm boarding in the ley line already. And they're probably going to play around Graveyard anyways out of a green deck. Talon Gates, we boarded out. Uh, Opposition Agent, Mesmeric Fiend, Thoughtseize, Force. That seems good. Thank you everybody for hanging out tonight, by the way. I don't love this. I feel like I can't really mold this either. That's the problem. Yeah. This is like a most like they don't really care about endurance for the most part. What they're both slow, but at least Fiend, if you untap, you probably are in good shape. White, you're not necessarily even in good shape. Yeah, this is way better. Way better. Yeah, for sure. And I agree. We're keeping this. The problem is like, are we just bottoming a Teague here? Oh, I guess we just pitched a force, right? Like, we can't. I don't have a Savannah, so for what it's worth. I don't know if that changes the calculus for people. But we could like, yeah. There's no Savannah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I didn't want to play a Savannah for a one white card. I mean, it could be wrong. It's just my philosophy. No scrub. Yeah. So we can't actually hardcast it. It would have to be pitched for the force, or we top deck one of our. I feel like we just take the gamble here. That we're gonna draw something useful, or pitch the force. We can. It's just not easy, right? We just hope not to draw it, like, or we are running six dorks that can cast it, and we have the. I mean the slow mo, really slow mo, which is the Talon Gates. Luckily their hand does nothing. I feel like we just take the ritual here. I didn't look at that carefully, but yeah, certainly. Uh, do we allow that to resolve? Let me think. What could they possibly have here? I feel like we just let it go. They're just trying to bait us. I feel. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I guess I do it now. Well, that's not necessarily the case. I think I do it now. Just like deny them the opportunity and then to waste them so they just have no mana. And there's a good chance they just like put the thing away, like their other LAD or whatever, right? Chromox. There's an argument to be made to hold the Force of Vigor. I don't know. I don't feel like that's correct, but I don't know. Puts tendrils into your graveyard. I'll take that, I guess. Part of my logic though was they had the mocks open, and I just wanted to cut them off mana. Not sure if they were gonna just draw more lands, which they did, which was unfortunate for us, but it is what it is. Although, okay, yeah, that's fair. I mean, we're not trying to be results oriented at all. If you think it's the right play, then it's the right play. Like, I don't have any problem with that. It sucks that we pitched the Teague though, but it is what it is. Hopefully they pitch the LED there. The boomerang is kind of annoying. This is the problem with Layla and the Void. This is the problem. Do they even run discard? Or are they just like wheeling like randomly? Or not randomly, but you know what I mean. Just like blindly, like into. I think I don't want endurance. It doesn't feel great against them. Yeah, actually, compared to the others, might be the best. Although they're almost certainly not going to walk into it. I think you fiend plus artisan potentially. Yeah, let me think about it. We'll see what's up first with their hand because that's going to dictate what we do. They might have to read this card. They probably never seen this mystery card from Torment before. For the longest time, I wanted a Golgari Tide Hollow Sculler, and they still have not printed it. All right, what are we doing here? There you go. The boomerang is annoying. I guess they could have bounced it anyways. So I think we take the boomerang because otherwise they just like bounce it. If they beseech, they walk into the other thing. If they song, I think we just lose, right? Like, don't we just lose the song here? I, yeah, because they could just boomerang. Oh my god, this is nasty. I think we have to just try to cut their mana for one turn. We're just cooked though. I think we go after their blue. Yeah, I think we just go after blue because that's the limiting factor right now, right? They need blue for song and blue for boomerang. pedal, which is not a good sign for us. Unless they walk into the endurance that they know about? No, there's no way. Oh, they might wheel with Hellkite or not. What in the world is going on? Oh yeah, I think they're gonna. Okay. Yeah, they're gonna Hellkite. Okay, it is what it is. Better than dying, I guess. This might work out in our favor. Each player discards their hand and then draws 7 cards. I think we want to nuke their yard. Yeah, it's possible. Like for what it's worth, I mentioned at the stream. I mentioned even like I only played one league with this list so far, and I 5-0'd. But I mentioned my analysis to my Discord was I'm not sure about that Teak slot. Like it's very well it could be a collective oof. The other slot I was not sure about was the Nantuko, which is like a very high variance card. My I got lucky once during the league for what it's worth too. Like not I'm not saying it's correct, but I got lucky because the one time I drew it, I happened to have the Birds of Paradise out. So or the Noble Heart, one of the two. I don't remember which, but so that was lucky. It is, and usually I only reserve that for that kind of stuff for like sideboard cards. So it's entirely possible Teak should be in the sideboard if I play it. I usually don't do that with the main deck card, but I just kind of threw the list together and just YOLO, see what happens, right? Because at least the logic was Collector Oof hasn't been impressive to me in the last few months. Now maybe that's changed based on like I have so much disruption now main deck because it's almost I wouldn't say exponential, but they stack, right? Like when you have more endurance, more thought seizes, more wastelands, it becomes harder and harder, and not in a linear way, like not exponential, but a little bit better than the linear of how difficult it is for your opponent to play through the hate. And maybe that makes the collector oof good enough when I have a bunch of other stuff. Definitely not something I will typically do as somebody who is very conservative about mana. And I guess in that vein, that's why I did not want to play the Savannah because I wanted, maximum fetch lands. We might just be cooked here, though. Did we win game one? There's no way, right? Nope, we did not. Concession time? Sure. No, I feel you on that. That's actually one of the reasons why we went from like away from Huff. We went away from like, at least for now, Atraxa. Like you can cast it, it's just very difficult. It's actually why I've liked I don't know where it is, but the Tivar because I know it's a lot easier to cast Creator Hoof and Mole. I do not really want to rely on that, even though it's easier, admittedly. All right, now we're just cooked. Unless they like place I don't know scare for some reason. Yep. That's okay. I force in response to pedal. Let me think about that. I think you're probably right, but it didn't matter here. I think you are right. I was just kind of like going through the motions there. Sorry if my I'm not keeping up, quality wise from a gameplay perspective. All right, I'm gonna get water real quick. Appreciate the insights though, Lawrence. I think losing to Storm here, and just in general, like the harder matchups tend to be the combo matchups. Oh, we're playing against one of my Discord channel subs. It should be fun. I don't know what list they're on because they have been changing it, but we shall see. We have two mulligans essentially here. The rest of the hand is actually not bad, but yeah, I don't know if I want Thalia because it's a little slow to find off Fiend Artisan. I think most cases I'd rather just like if I've untapped with Artisan, I think I'd rather get something else. I don't feel like white is worth splashing for. Like I think in the context of this deck, black is like superior in almost every way. Like you rather have Thoughtseize than Thalia, you rather have white than Knight, you rather have Snuff Out than Swords because your harder matchups are like the Ancient Tomb matchups, and Swords is like kind of slow. Um, so it's like better in almost every way. I think we have to mold this. It's just too many. Like it's too slow. I think better. I guess. Ironically enough, like even though that was a double mulligan hand, like the rest of the hand was like a really strong five otherwise. But I think I would take my chances. I think if my opponent goes by you first, I might just waste my opponent and see what they do. Okay. Did not come to fruition. We're probably just cooked being on the draw here though. All of the stuff for the mirror is in the sideboard. Snuff Out, Plague Engineer, Opposition Agent. So I know I said that five was bad. Maybe I'm supposed to. Ugh, it feels so bad though. Like they have. I think I had like one dork, one white, one fiend, or something like that, and then a bunch of lands. Now we are just in trouble potentially. There's been times where I like will bestow my opponent's creature if I want to play around removal, but not doing that here. It's come up a I wouldn't say a lot, but sometimes every once in a while. I know that's like one of those pro tour players plays that I think somebody told me about. I don't remember. I don't remember. It was probably in the Nadu deck. I forget where somebody bestowed on Actually, that's not true. It was probably from one of those standard Pro Tours. I don't remember. I vaguely remember somebody telling me like that was a line that people took at the Pro Tour. My opponent has very strong taste in forest here. Ugh, okay. The Spring Heart is looking good here and not at the same time, which is funny to say. Yeah, it is. But our deck is like kind of popular, I guess, or trendy at the moment because of the mole, which I'm not playing any. And I think my opponent is probably not either because they're probably just trying my list for tonight. All right, what do we want to do here? I think they're representing endurance, but so are we. The life total is not going to matter, so I think I just like hardcast this now. Decent chance we regret not holding on to the Spring Heart. Typically, I don't want to like. Typically, I don't want to like play this on a naked board, but like, this is like an odd way this game is playing out. So I actually think in hindsight, probably should have held on to Spring Heart because then we can just make a bunch of arbors. Now it's kind of like I wasted it, so to speak. My opponent made the same mistake too, for what it's worth, but they might not be aware of that, like play pattern. And there's less of a waste because they have the ignoble, right? I don't think the board presence was worth losing the Spring Heart there, and this card is like slowly getting on my nerves again because it's so situational. Like, see, now because of that, I have to like eat my words, right? I think I do this and cut them off. Fetching arbor. We'll pass. If it's another endurance, I'm happy to see that. Actually, I don't want to cut them off in arbor because Tivar is gonna get huge if we draw. We're gonna pump the whole team once we get another land. They do have the endurance. How funny. Sure. That is kind of funny. So if I were to guess, maybe they attack with endurance token, and that's it. Because attacking with one endurance doesn't get them anywhere, and they are staring down now, like potentially a ton of damage if I hit a land. That's not bad. We'll take it. It doesn't do anything. The spring heart. This is actually one of the reasons why I added the spring heart too. I was like, I guess in an emergency, it's like more damage. We hit the land here. We did not. But next turn, got a wild bell card. That's not a bad draw. They have mostly useless cards here, so we're gonna put it back. And then we're gonna attack for a gazillion right now. They could double block the Tivar, which is annoying. Actually, math is for blockers. YOLO. Might have been reckless just attack, but like I don't want to think about it too much. That's pretty good. So he can make a 8, 9, 10. Oh, I think they might have lethal. I think they had lethal and they missed it because they can make two more tokens. The token on the other side is actually like kind of hurting us big time here. Although maybe it doesn't matter. Like they still have the talent gates too. We just need to punch through with one of these. Like, do we have enough? That helps. One, two, three, four, five. So one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. They have six. So I think we have lethal now. Hey Ramon, how's it going? Two, three. Yeah, we just have one. Yeah, this is a scuff game, right? We should have lost this game. Granted, it's to our own deck, so I don't mind that much, but it is what it is. Obviously, Hoof is a lot worse in this game, right? Very odd game. It's typically not how a mirror should play out, but yeah, very scuffed game, but it is what it is. All right. This is the race to opposition agent, I guess. Actually, Mesmeric Fairy feels too slow. Yeah. Gates actually we probably want to keep because if they're on our list, they probably have agent too, and we want to just like be able to tutor through it, just like kill their agent, right? Some very mind gamesy thing going on here. Well, obviously the snuff dots are just like absolutely nuts. No T. I probably know white to be honest. I don't remember how I boarded. How did I board? Oh, I boarded out the safekeeper. That doesn't feel right to me. I think the goal is just like you protect agent and they just like lose. Or and similar and vice versa, right? They can just do that to us. Yeah, I think with that like parameter in mind, so to speak, it's like protect the queen, right? Protect opposition agent. Plague engineer. Is that good against them? I'm not even sure that's like great. I guess if they're like keeping Springheart in or something like that, it prevents the other person from attacking too. So we'll just YOLO this. Oh, we should, did we not bring in the snuff? I think we did. Almost had a panic attack here. I think we learned our lesson, right? I don't think we just can keep a generic hand like that. Well, actually, that's not true. We have Thoughtseize. Sure. They go turn one dork. We probably have to seize on one to take their Fiend Artisan because we just lose, right? It's very awkward to be on the draw here because of the opposition agent Trump. I think the line here is safekeeper and then like play towards our own opposition agent. Take the green sun. They're gonna seize us and then take one of these. I don't know which, but oh, interesting. Oh, them fetching wrong has cost them here, or conservative fetching, I should say. Ooh, Thoughtseize there, Thoughtseize. Now I kind of regret not taking the ramp, but it is what it is. I was like playing for the long game. F6. Yeah, guys, Cradle, and I don't know what else. Something I don't know, I guess. Ooh, the natural? That's kind of dirty. It is telegraphed there. So what level do I think my opponent is on here? If I try to get them and they don't, then they get two free activations. So I think it's correct here, just the main phase. I'm gonna give my opponent the benefit of the doubt that it's too telegraphed and they're gonna know um that they're gonna know, right? Long story short. They might get a lair. That would make it awkward. So we can take six or whatever it is. Sure. That's fine. I don't. Do we block here to save damage? Maybe not yet. I can't white plus whatever the same turn. Getting the safekeeper there over the dork like is costing me this game because I'm like down a mana. And now we have to chump. We do it like this. Maybe that's okay. And then the Fiend Artisan grows. We just have to stabilize with white, and then that should be game. We'll go to 2 here. This might lock it up. It's still King of Combat here. I don't think they're keeping in endurance. Like that just seems so loose. And then we trade, right? Well, sort of trade. Ooh, that is not bad. That is not bad. We may lose to that. The whole thing we lost this game was because of the getting the safekeeper and like not thinking about the tempo implications. That is like pretty awkward now. They can pitch a creature to like kill my own white. Then I get a land. I don't know if that's worth it to them. But yeah, this game was lost because of the safekeeper. How's it going, Ramar? Hope you had a good stream, by the way. Springheart being a what do I want here? Oh my god! If I take their bog, oh no! That doesn't work the way I want, or does it? I think it does actually work the way I want. Hmm. Might just lose this game. All right, that's game now. I screwed that up, but they punted game 1 too, so for whatever that's worth. All right, want to play. Do we want to change how we boarded there? Plague Engineer seems loose. It's crazy, right? Plague Engineer not good against the green deck, the mana dork deck. It doesn't feel like that's what the game's about, but I could be wrong. It's a removal spell to kill one dork, but it's spending 4 mana to do it worth it. I'm not sure the answer is yes. Uh, White looked pretty insane there, and then they kept it in bog. That's kind of insane too. Like it's kind of scary to think about. It kind of feels like Spring Heart might be what I'm looking for. Actually, no, that can't be right. It was just good on that board state, I think. There's no way Spring Heart is good in a. I think we just go Mez Fiend here too. Just play as many removal spells as we can, or not removal, discard. Keep. I'm keeping this hand like almost solely on double snuff out. We're gonna go double snuff out into like Mez Fiend or something, or Grist on turn two is kind of nuts too. If they turn on Wasteless here, it's like so bad for us. But like usually you don't think to do that when your opponent goes turn one Dork, but you never know. To be fair, I discussed this line in round one too, so maybe. Thank goodness they don't have it. Sure. They have the natural agent. Wow. What do we want here? I guess we just kill that. So their hand is now all mana. I'm like tempted to just like ignore it. Hmm. The Spring Heart is like potentially really annoying. Maybe I'm supposed to just cut their mana, actually. Yeah, let's do that. Let's not get too cute. They veil me there. I deserve to lose because I didn't do it main phase. Keeping in the bog. That's the greedy line for sure. Sure. Keeping a lot of lands, I guess. I'm not sure that actually translates to a winning though. That certainly does. Bajuka Bayou. Yeah. What do we want to do here? I think we just want board presence. And then get ready to like overrun our opponent. Actually, I screwed up. Yeah, I just realized why. I think I just make a bunch of those. I should have waited for my opponent to Spring Heart and cast in response. So that's on me. Ugh. Yeah, yeah. I screwed up. I had the answer and I just like didn't think about it. Luckily, it's not the end of the world, but it's far worse than it should have been. Okay, that is a snap keep. We gotta kill the mole right here, otherwise it's just gonna make a gazillion things. They have a gazillion mana, but no payoff and no way to find it. I think I like where we're at. We're gonna attack for a lot next turn. Actually, I take that back. I don't know why I keep thinking I have agent in my side. My no, I don't think matters because they didn't have the mana anyways. Unless I miscounted. I think they only had one mana, so they couldn't copy. They have a bunch of one annoying things, but like maybe that's fine. Sure, more tokens. Why can't I click on this? There. Oops, wrong one. What am I doing here? Yeah, I think I just get agent and just like not let them do anything. It's gonna be a lot of tokens. Maybe that takes down my grist, but I don't think that's gonna matter. They have to like. Oh, that's a little awkward. I can't pump and do that at the same turn, but that's okay. And then we can like. Can they kill the thing next turn? I guess they can. That's five. One, two, three, four. Five tokens plus five attackers. That's 10. Yeah, I guess they can kill the grist and lose most of their tokens. It's probably still worth it for them. I think they have to. No, I guess not. We can like double. What are we doing here? How do we lose this game? If I attack with all right now, that's 7. We can pump twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have to lose 6 things. Probably worth it. Or 5 things. It's probably still gonna get there. Sure. I guess I hit the Arbor here because that's another attacker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess I'm 1 short to do it all. I guess I can just do that. They have to block all because it stacks. Right, they get +3 and then they get +6 essentially, or actually more than that. Not sure they realize I can do it twice. All right, that was a very grindy game. One more. I guess I'll use a restroom real quick before. Yeah, it was good there, and I think hope would have been worse, right? Like we would have drawn it and not be able to cast it. I think we played it pretty early too, for defense. Yeah, Tivard been looking good. I think so. I even if I play natural, I think right now I probably wouldn't play hoof even with all that mana. Even if I'm playing mole, I think this just does enough. In even when it's not the matches for like the creature mirror, so to speak. I think it does enough. I rather just save myself a card for mapping purposes against the tempo decks. I don't want to keep it hoof against tempo. And this thing blanks Bargoyf and blanks basically everything out of like non-white decks. And not K command. Obviously that too. Playing as oops all spells. That's no bueno. I think the takeaway from today so far is we probably have to mess around with the sideboard configuration. Mesmeric Fiend has, well, to be fair, Mesmeric Fiend did take the opposition agent that was kind of clutch, but maybe it's not like maybe it's below rate, so to speak. Let's see what our opponent's doing. Are they gonna oops us? It does. Yeah, it beats it easily. I beat a bridge actually just the other day. Oh, they didn't want to play. I think that's fine. I'm pretty tired already as is. I'm not gonna start another game just because our opponent conceded here. Our opponent was probably on oops, and we kept endurance, so was feeling decent about that hand. Quick thoughts. Anybody who's interested in deck building, what are your thoughts on the 3-3 thought seize endurance split? Now, my logic for this was I didn't want to draw multiples when they're bad, and while keeping the ceiling, so to speak, right, of both. Like I don't want to play against I don't know tempo and draw two seasons. I don't want to play against show and tell and draw two endurances. Like it's kind of backbreaking. This to me, this card is like infuriating playing. To for me to register. I sometimes it's good. A lot of times it's very bad. I think. I don't know how to fix that problem because I don't know what the next best threat is if we're not playing natural order. Some people have played Bargoyf. I do not really like Bargoyf personally in this deck because it makes their chump blocks even better. And I don't like Bargoyf because it's also in the wrong color and increases the curve. Like this being a 2 drop and just like randomly good with Pummeler, I felt like it was worth it. I mean, to be fair, it's every time was gonna pull out my hair with this card, the top deck card made this look good. So I don't even know anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like every time I started to talk bad about this card, it suddenly like won the game, or not won the game, but like looked okay. Maybe Keen Eye Curator is the answer, and just like not play this card. Although without Springheart though, the deck really does lose its combo element. So that is something to keep in mind. Now maybe you can grind them out, but that's a lot of grinding. Like I don't know if I want to play a tournament and just be completely fair. Right? This is the only unfair element of the deck. Otherwise, it's a little bit. I guess this is like kind of unfair too. I would have to think about it, but Kenai's not a bad suggestion. Obviously, Lawrence, made fun of my Gadok Teague here, so maybe this needs to be in the sideboard or something. I have to think about that too. Out of the I don't mind collecting oof and moving the Gadok to the sideboard. Maybe I cut the Mesmeric Fiend. It's like great against show and tell, but not really much else. It's weird because no is good in the unfair matches, whereas Springheart is kind of bad. That is one discrepancy. However, it makes up for the fact because Springheart tends to be good against tempo. while keeping that unfair element. So there's a lot of going balance going on. I think besides these three cards, like the rest of the main deck, I was like for the most part happy with. Like it played out pretty smoothly. The two losses that we lost a storm. I don't think really anything there would have changed it much. Maybe like collective main deck. I think we even won the main. I know we lost. Never mind. I take that back. Um, and then here our opponent like had the natural answer for our opposition agent. That's fine. The sideboard I think needs work. But I don't know what the answer is yet. And I feel like if I play the 23rd land, it's a little like I'm already like flooding a little bit. I don't want to flood anything more. But the mana base, I don't think I want to go below 14 dorks. I mean, well, Freudian slip, 14 dorks plus 14 IMS. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah. So I think the dorks I was happy with. It looked, yeah, I'm somebody who values consistency, and I think legacy games like three-fourths of them are decided by turn 2 or 3 now. So really just want to have turn one dork every game. That's kind of the logic, like or at least a one drop. Thoughtseize counts as sort of Sylvan Safekeeper, but both of them are a little bit situational, right? I'm not gonna keep in Safekeeper against some matchups, and I'm not gonna keep in Seize against some matchups as well. So I kind of just want the consistency, and I think it's looked good for what it's worth. Not to mention this like beats random things like I can tutor for a block Murtite region in a pinch. I could tutor for it and like beat a ensnaring bridge that's like, mucked up by the ground or something like that. But Seiju is 1 mana with Tivar for what it's worth. I mean, yes, but at the same time, if I have a Tivar out, I'm probably trying to do some unfair things. So like unless you're trying to get at something else. Like, I don't think I want to play Boseiju because the identity in the of the sideboard is really black. If you can see here, right? It's like the Force of Vigor, which is kind of meh, and then it's all black cards besides Force of Vigor, more or less. Because the weakness of green is covered by a lot of these black cards that we play. Not this is not really a black card to be fair, but Um, and that's the other thing. I don't know if I want. I think losing to Storm almost makes me feel like maybe I need to diversify the hate because that makes the combo matchups harder for my opponent. Like traditionally, something like one Leyline of the Void, one Mindbreak Trap, one Chalice of the Void is you know, and two Force of Vigor is like impossible for your opponent to play around. Like it could be anything, right? They are essentially spinning the wheel of what hate you could have, and that's kind of what maybe we should be airing towards. I don't know, just spitballing here. But yeah, this is probably a liability. We already knew that coming in tonight, but it helps to be chewed out by Lawrence. Anybody have any questions? Here's my socials, but again, but yeah, I think the deck looked pretty good. Otherwise, I think there's merit for the first mole for what's worth, but it the one game we flooded out, like you can definitely see this. You need to hit threats, and Mole is not, in my opinion. It's just more mana, right? Like, and I think I'd rather have the Torn One Dorks. Maybe Curator's the answer. I don't know, but like, card is like situationally really good. Um, okay. I think without further ado, I'll go raid somebody. But yeah, maybe Kenai is just like the next best threat. I don't know. Although Springheart is what, yeah, maybe Kenai is the best. It did allow for some craziness with Tivar, but if I don't play Springheart, I might have to just play the Grist main. Maybe that's okay. All right, I will raid now. Okay, there is a person who is drafting. This one can raid there. All right, thank you everyone for hanging out. Hopefully, this stream was helpful. I think it was. It kind of shored up some of the thoughts. Like I mentioned on my Discord, I don't want to play below rate cards, and I think this card here, Mesmeric Fiend, is probably below rate. As much as I love the card, I know Mott's is infuriated with my decision right now. But we'll see. All right, thank you everyone for hanging out. Shout out to Mots if he's still in the stream in this chat.